Hey, Christy. Lots of love to you too. How's it going today? I thought we'd go ahead and talk more about the look in Bella's eyes. I know our last chat was really silly. I'm still not sure what we should title that list either. We need to come up with a title. All right, Summer Breeze. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to figure out the whole video thing. I have so many. How does that go in the queue? I have a whole bunch of the audio already completed, but I haven't put them together yet, and I feel so terrible. And here I am doing a live chat instead of just putting the videos up, right? And here is Louisa. I'm so glad to catch my first live chat with you, my favorite YouTuber. We're actually kind of boring here, Louisa. But welcome. Hey, MJ. Can't stay long? Okay, what do you want to talk about? I was thinking we'd talk about the look in Bella's eyes. Kind of pick up where we left off before we got all, carried away with Tom Selleck types. But if you can only stay for a little bit, MJ, go ahead and jump in and tell us what you want to talk about. There's something else I want to talk about too besides that. And Louisa, I'm not sure if you know what LOL means, but on this channel, it means lots of love. So I'm not sure if you knew that yet. Summer Breeze says, Bella and Cece were both glowing the last 6 weeks. Yes, they were. Christy says, my fave YouTuber too. Ah, you're not boring. Oh, you spelled your right. Good. Good. Everybody, we can trust Christy. She can spell your. Louisa didn't know about LOL. It comes from a text message that one of our subs told us about, where I guess grandma wasn't doing too well. And the mom sent a text message to one of her adult kids saying that grandma wasn't doing very well. It was really bad news. And then she said, LOL, because she thought it meant lots of love. So it was kind of a cute text message, grandma's dying, LOL. MJ says, oops, Christy says, agreed. MJ says, Bella's hair was growing pretty fast when she was in North Carolina. Isn't that the truth? Makes you wonder how many times that poor little girl had to have her hair cut. Yes, Christy can spell. Okay, good. Then I won't give you a hard time. But you know what I was saying that one time before we went haywire with the 100 top, we don't know what we're going to call them yet, real men? The video before that, the live chat before that, when we were talking about the look in Bella's eyes, if you are working in law enforcement and you're called out to the scene and you are trained in domestic violence and child abuse, then you know what to look for, right? You know what to notice. Just my opinion. I think that Bella's facial expressions showed that she was not feeling safe, that she was confused. Well, look at the hair. Look at the hair in the last 6 weeks. Her hair was growing. It was filling in even, right? It was appearing even to be almost thick. And how was it before? Chopped off. It looked like there may have even been bald spots. So why didn't somebody notice that? And I've said it before. I think it's really sad for Bella and Cece both that if everything we're being told is true about the whole open case routine, and remember how we were told by a family member, no less, that one of those court hearings was for an ongoing family matter. If all that's true, why weren't Bella and Cece removed from that home before the tragedy occurred? Christy says she always looked absolutely sad, humiliated, confused, frightened, and sometimes even traumatized. Well, if we can see it, and to me it looks pretty obvious, then why were Bella and Cece still in that home? There's something else I want to talk about in this live chat too, and that is this. Have you been noticing the shift in who's, speaking out for who and who's, advocating for who and whatever, and all the changing, I don't know, I guess all the, what I would call infighting and all the nasty videos that are being put up? This is how it's been from day one. It's how it's been from day one on this case. Not on any other case, but on this case. Does it make you wonder how much money those channel creators are being paid? Welcome to True Crime Lunatic, who says, I have been binge watching all of your videos. They really are so insightful. Check out Set the Record Straight's videos. Those are a lot more insightful than ours. I thought it was interesting seeing a little blip of one of the supposed, legal hawks who jumped in to help the Watts family right when the Watts family actually had a lawyer offering to help. And I think, I'm not sure, but I think their daughter talked them into going to YouTube weirdos instead. One of them was talking about a discussion or a conversation between her and the other one. And they were guessing. They were guessing about details of this case, which their guesses were just totally off. They don't know diddle. And, they sit there and go, oh, we did so much for the Watts family. Yeah, we did so much for the Watts family. Really? What did they ever do for the Watts family? Except distract them from being able to get actual help for Christopher Watts. Louisa says, maybe the court decided Bella Watts had a home, a nice home, a mom and dad. Or maybe they were going to remove the children and they made the mistake of noticing up the family. MJ said also Chris, he looked frightened, sad, and depressed. Fake smiles, too. I agree completely. Louisa said, oops. Christy says, you know what, MM? AD stated that he was getting harassed before the murders even happened. Sound familiar? Exactly. Exactly. And you know what? One of the YouTubers who was heavily involved in the attacks, he's heavily involved with the scumbag attackers. Oh, I'll say it. He's a scumbag attacker too. He's trying to make a little comeback for himself, right? So he does this video the other day where he's, telling the truth about everything, right? And he was wrong throughout his little video. He just has a terrific revisionist history thing going on. And I'm thinking to myself, listening to part of it, just thinking, these people just lie. They just lie. Like, they don't even know the truth. Or if they know the truth doesn't even register with them. And then he was talking about a person who had been a real scumbag for years. Everyone in the Darla Routier groups knew that this person was a total scumbag, and everyone just banned her because she was just dirt. She was terrible. And everyone just blocked her and went on with the discussion. Well, this guy, who's a scumbag attacker himself, he's talking trash about that other person who's dirt, and how that's how he started getting attacked with the case of Christopher Watts. And I'm thinking to myself, whoa, wait a minute. Well, that kind of makes sense, right? So she's been a part of this pack of animals probably for years. I mean, it's disgusting. And it's so sad because I don't think any one of the scumbag attackers have a job, have a career, right? Have any goals. I think their big deal in life is YouTube, which is really kind of frightening. True Crime Lunatic says, poor Bella always looks so sad, dark circles, so skinny and malnourished. I really think that's why her hair looked so thin and wouldn't grow. I think it wouldn't grow because I think her mother said, do you need a haircut? Anytime she couldn't control her. True Crime Lunatic says, Miss Mensa, why do you think Cece didn't look so sickly? Well, I think Cece, being the younger of the two, had the protection of Bella. So I think she was more free to be Cece. Yes, Cindy Watts, exactly. All of the attacks. And Cindy Watts was getting attacked right from the start. The scumbag attackers like to say, well, it's because she said bad things. Baloney. Baloney. With everything she knows, she was being nice. Louisa says the baby wise and the drugging and the abuse the hospital staff saw should have been enough evidence to have the kids removed. Exactly. That's my opinion. Exactly. Hey, Star Mama. After I asked you if you think we should do a live, I actually got distracted, had a couple of phone calls, and thought, oh my gosh, I better hurry up. It's getting later. So I'm just asking the question again, Star Mama. Why weren't the kids removed from that home? Christy said, wonder where all our usual regulars are, MM. Why are you now using the Lady Justice channel? I don't know, because I'm weird. I kind of wonder about our regulars, too. Because you notice how it's always the same handful of people talking? I think that a lot of the scumbag attackers who just come by to watch, I think they think that because 3 years have gone by since the date of the incident, that they don't have to, harass people anymore to try to distract everyone. They don't know that it's actually 3 years from the conviction. So the guy who was talking in that video, he was talking about this one weird person who has always had it out for him. And I thought, yeah, these weirdos have been up and running. At the time in 2018, they claimed that they had already been working together for 3 years. So at least, I guess, from 2015, this is what they do. It's what they do. It's like a collection of, well, I don't know what we should call them. This is their life. And it's really sad. But it makes you wonder how many of them are getting paid? How many of them are recruited by who knows who, right? I mean, tell me one channel besides thought-provoking videos, besides Set the Record Straight, tell me one channel that you trust. One. Just one. Well, besides Scott Reich, tell me one channel that is discussing the case of Christopher Watts, or pretending to, that you actually think is not one of the scumbag attackers. Just one. Star Mama says, because people were hiding SW's issues until the end, and someone, I think, from the school talked on behalf of the girls. I think that they were reported in December of 2016, and I think there was an open case against her. And I think the ongoing family matter court hearing that was coming up right after the tragedy was not going to be good news. Yes, straight up blowing minds. And that set the record straight. Yep. That's the channel to look at. Those are the videos to look at if you want to put puzzle pieces together. Because remember, we were told we're never going to be told the truth, right? So I guess we'll figure it out for ourselves. And when I hear that we are never going to be told the truth, what I'm hearing is we've been getting lied to. Christy is voting for Dave? You mean the Australian guy who hates women? And I'm probably being kind of bold to say that. I don't think he hates all women, but I think he has something against women. True Crime Lunatic says, Revelation in the Reckoning, OMG, LOL, LOL, LOL. She's absolutely gross. To answer Christy about Dave, he actually had one of the known scumbag attackers approach him and tell him he should start doing live chats. And then he got the Star Trek chair and the weird microphone, and he hangs with people who are, I don't know. So pretty much I'm of the opinion that he's one of them. The R&R one, she's the one who evidently Christopher Watts' sister was already in cahoots with, because when his mom and dad were told that there was a lawyer offering to help Christopher Watts pro bono, then within 24 hours, we're told by R&R that the sister called or contacted her somehow and said, let's do it. Let's do it now. Which makes no sense at all. Star Mama says, yes, the family was living there because she had to be watched. And I think her mother said in that letter that she wrote to the police, I think it was in the letter, that they moved in because she had a difficult pregnancy. I might be wrong, but I think that's what she said, that she wasn't pregnant when she moved in. But maybe they did move in because she had a difficult pregnancy, but maybe they waited, maybe it was after the pregnancy before they moved in. Ray says, I'm lurking. Nap time. Oh, my computer is asking me a question. Hold on. Okay, just dismiss that. You know how your phones are smarter than you are? I think my computer's smarter than me too. Christy said, I thought they were both gone, straight and set. I think the videos are still up. I think. Christy says, yay, it's Ray. We should probably whisper, though, because she's napping. True Crime Lunatic says, did I? What? Oh, did you guys hear what Dave said about the rake? I don't listen to him. Star Mama says, I don't think any channels care about the case and discuss it, or they would stop putting SW on a pedestal. Exactly. They're not discussing the case. They don't even know diddle about the case. And you know what? Banana and R&R, same thing. They get their info from Set the Record Straight's channel. Let me tell you. The Meredith lady? Summer breeze, no way. She was there to totally, well, she wasn't doing anyone any favors. I'd put it that way. She was there to totally be over the top offensive and to try to act like she was speaking for people who were actually discussing the case. The rake X marks the spot? Really? Interesting. Hey, Private Pirate. Exactly. I think she had difficult pregnancies, but I don't think it had anything to do with anything physical. The blog that she made for Bella, she stopped posting anything at all at 32 weeks. I think that's when it hit. And I think the reason she got pregnant so fast was because I think she figured Christopher Watts was going to be out the door. I think that's how she tried to keep him married. So you think somebody marked the spot for him? Ray says Banana has been behaving erratically. I think she always has. Remember when we all hightailed it over to that first live chat, or no, the chat after they did that video from Colorado, and we were all right in there thinking it was a good thing. And then what was about a half an hour, maybe an hour, that we were like, eh. Okay. Tell us about the rake. So did somebody mark the spot? Wasn't there a rake missing? Or was that a shovel? Might have been a shovel missing. The ruse knew she was a bomb waiting to explode. Dolo's here. Hi, guys. Christy says, sorry, guys, was just checking those two channels. Nothing. Even real justice is gone or has shut up. Well, then it looks like it's just us. True Crime Lunatic says, Dave said that she was, what does that mean? Yes, the rake was left at the gravesite. More kids, more money when applying for benefits, food stamps, housing, and disability. I think disability for sure, but I think it was also to keep him married. I think he probably was being told over and over again, oh, you can't divorce her when the baby's little. You can't do that. She probably had him fooled to thinking that she was nursing. So he figured, you know, and then kaboom, Bella was 10 months old and she got pregnant with Cece. Really? It was a shovel missing, MJ. So, okay, whose vehicle is the shovel in? Christy says it is believed that whoever buried SW left the rake to let CW know where the grave was. Wow. Private Pirate says, related, the nurse friend is now a counselor or psychologist, and one of her specialties is psychological problems during pregnancy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And maybe that was actually her interest and her specialty back then. Maybe. I don't know. Think back to your own wedding. Who did you ask to be your maid of honor or your bridesmaid? Was it somebody who you babysat for 3 months? Probably not. Star Mama says, now AD is after NK again. Ugh. You guys know the NK thing has been debunked. Bringing people on again saying they called the DA, blah, 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 blah. Oh, is that like the friend or whatever from prison or something? Christy says, I've never heard Dave say that. That she was, what? I think that might have been a typo. Hey, Miss CD. Your sister? True Crime Lunatic says, Christy R., he sure did. People are really upset about it. Hey, Suze. Hi, MM. I have a question. Do you think the embezzlement charge of a very big amount and her sudden ability to have a huge house could be a little suspicious? I think her having the ability to get that house was a little suspicious. The time frame when she purchased it, the mortgage companies and the banks, the lending institutions were, I would say, using a finer tooth comb. So I think it's very interesting that she was able to get a low down payment house to begin with. I think that probably if we saw the actual closing documents, we'd be able to figure out how it happened. Christy said, I haven't missed a show. Do you remember how long ago it was? Oh, I'm sorry, Miss CD. I totally missed my own question. Exactly. And in this case, they fired the sister-in-law. They fired, I think, the cousin's wife, right? They fired the bridesmaids' children or the maid of honor's children who were going to be the ring bearer and flower girl. They all got fired so that the woman who was the mother of the child who she supposedly babysat for 3 months, right, was her bridal attendant. Christy says, essay, sexually assaulted. Who? Who was sexually assaulted? I'm sitting here looking at this going, huh? And yeah, okay, I get it now. Oh my gosh. I should probably not be trying to do a live chat at midnight, right? True Crime Lunatic says the Ruse are so upset about it. It's sick. Who's saying what exactly? Is it the Dave channel you're talking about or someone else? Sue said after that, she took off to Colorado in a hurry, left her furniture in the house. Exactly. Okay, you guys know my opinion. I think she was on disability for a long time. I think she may have worked part-time for whatever that tire place or whatever it was. I think that whatever documents were presented for the closing possibly were filled out by her. I don't know, just saying. And, people go on and on that she bought this big house. Actually, she had something, wasn't it like 5% down? And then months later, she meets Christopher Watts, and then 3 weeks later, she quits her job. So when did she buy the house exactly? Because it looks to me like Christopher Watts was the one buying it. And then when she sold it, she lost money on the deal. Yes, she lost money on the deal. Technically, she sold it for $15,000. I think it was $15,600 more than she paid for it. But all you have to do is figure out what the realtor's commission would be and the closing costs for selling it. And she lost money. Plus, she lost the house full of furniture because, according to the buyer, she seemed like she was in a really big hurry. So she lost money big time for a house that it looks to me like Christopher Watts was the one paying for. Miss CD said, yeah, I always wondered how she got that house. Christy says, True Crime Lunatic, how long ago was it? Christy says, yes, that SW was essayed at the rake. What? That adds a whole new layer of weird. True Crime Lunatic says, Miss Mensa, the Dave channel is saying that. Huh. I haven't heard that one yet. Miss CD, but how did she get a loan if she was on disability? Well, that's what I'm saying. If she was the one filling out the paperwork, the income verification form that would have been mailed to her boss. Okay, is this what Dave is saying? I mean, is he saying that Christopher Watts did that, or is he saying some other weirdo did that? True Crime Lunatic, it was about 2 weeks ago. I will find the video name and tell. Christy says, OMG, how did I ever miss that? Louisa says she lived right next door to her boss in her house. Is that correct? I don't think so. I don't think that's correct. But I have been told that the house that she got was identical to his. Louisa says it's something or other. Hi, Aaron. Aaron says, it's legit taken me 5 whole minutes to figure out what essay meant. OMG and LOL. You're in the right place. It took me a while to figure out what mol est ed meant because there were spaces in between. Miss CD said, hardworking my ass. She never wanted to work. I don't think she did. I don't think she worked. I don't think she knew what the word meant. I really don't. If you look at Ronnie and Cindy Watts, they both worked. They both had careers. They both worked full time, right? They lived in the same little house, paid their bills, saved money for their kids' education, that kind of thing, right? Christopher Watts and his sister both hardworking, you know, it's their lifestyle. It's what they grew up watching and it's what they learned. They both had a good work ethic, and so did their parents. You look at Christopher Watts' wife, Jeremy Lindstrom was interviewed shortly after the disappearance, right? And he said in that interview that after she moved out there, I think she moved out there like in May or something of 2012. I think it was in July, he finally offered her a job to work there at the dealership with Christopher Watts, which I think is odd, right? If she had all of the jobs that, if she was so highly successful and all that. So she takes a job at a dealership, and then he said that when she was pregnant with Bella, she quit. Well, she got pregnant with Bella 4 months after they got married. So, that was a long time career. And he said in that interview that that's when she started with the MLMs. He never mentioned any hospital. I don't think she wanted to work. I think she somehow swung that house, and I don't think it was by normal ways. And I think she realized that it meant there had to be a house payment made every month. And I think that's when she was on the prowl for someone like Christopher Watts. And this whole idea that he was checking her out on social media and he was asking her out, I don't believe that for 1 second. I think that he probably went into that store where she was working. And I think she probably thought, a master mechanic, his paycheck might do. I think she was the one seeking him out. And we're told that she quit her job, like I said, 3 weeks after they met. 3 weeks after their first date, she quit her job. And then a couple months later, she started babysitting for one child for a few months. And then that job fizzled out when the family moved away. And then a few months after that, she decided she wanted to become a nurse. Really? Before that, she said she was going to open a daycare center. She posted on social media, it's official. She's going to open a daycare center. And then she never mentioned that again. And then I think it was like the end of June or something of 2011 that she said she was going to become a nurse. And then voila, she was accepted into a nursing program. Bullshit. Bullshit. And then, 6 months later, she started in this nursing program. Bullshit. And that's right in the same month that she told Christopher Watts they had to move because her doctor said they had to move to Colorado because of all of her health challenges. Okay, so how many days did she work in that first couple of years of their relationship? 30, 60, 90? Who paid for that house? Christopher Watts. Cindy Watts said herself that he had like 13 grand or something in his savings account and it was gone. Well, I bet it paid quite a few house payments. And you know what else I think? I don't think she fell in love with him at all. I think she fell in love with his credit rating. I do. I think she fell in love with his credit rating. That's a cute comment. I don't know how that would have fit exactly. Oh, you guys are fun. Every once in a while, a comment like this comes up and I just have to laugh. Sorry. No, SW was essayed by the rake. You don't mean by where the rake was. You don't mean near the rake. That's what Dave is saying. weird. How did Dave come up with this? Evidence? Proof? Does anyone know what he's saying as far as how he has come to that information? This is a really good point. Remember when he sold the bike and she's like, oh, I'm better with money than you are. But look at the house deal. That house deal is a total joke if you just take 1 second to do the math, because, you know, the scumbag attackers, the script they read says that she made money on the house. Technically, the sale price was, like I said, $15,000, I think 400 or 15,600 higher than the purchase price. But even if we just say 5%, right? And we all know it could have very well been higher. But if we just go bare bones minimum and just say 5%, which I highly doubt it was, do the math. What did it sell for? I think it was $350, $5, $10, $15, $17, $5. $350 minus $17.5 is less than $334. I think it was $334.6. I think is what she paid. And that's not even including the closing costs, the seller transfer tax, the taxes, whatever. And I highly doubt she had her HOA dues paid. So that would have had to come out at closing. Just my hunch. Private Pirate says, I read that recently too, that the house was right next door to the boss's house. I didn't know that. The only thing I have heard about the houses being in relation to the boss's house was that it was the same house, which then made people wonder who bought the house. True Crime Lunatic says, Summer Breeze, there is no evidence or proof, only in his warped mind. Christy says, I've not heard that anywhere, Pirate, but they did look closely alike. Summer Breeze says, he's sick in the head. Star Mama says, Cindy also came home and cooked dinner every night for her family when she got home from work. Exactly. Exactly right. Private Pirate says, what is the Australian guy basing his assertion on? Miss CD says, I think she used lupus as an excuse for moving to Colorado. She wanted to get him far away to isolate him. And think about it. Maybe her gig was up as far as keeping him conned about whether or not she was actually making any money, right? Star Mama says, I still don't get the $25,000 they claim for fertility doctors. Yeah, I don't know when they ever hired any fertility doctor, that's for sure. And also, we were told that the bankruptcy had to happen because of medical bills. Really? JCP? Christy says, the Aussie guy has said he's had 15 almost threatening emails in the last week. Oh, brother. How ridiculous. I don't know. Give me a 1 if you trust the Aussie guy. Give me a 2 if you don't. 1 if you trust him, 2 if you don't. I'm going to go ahead and put mine in here. I'm voting number 2 because I don't trust him. And I'll tell you why I don't trust him. When he first started doing his live chats, he seemed like a nice guy, and I went up on his panel and he was fine and friendly and everything. he did say a couple of things that were kind of like over the top that I thought, ew, ew, I didn't care for it, but it wasn't that bad. He seemed really friendly. I thought he was a nice person. Then he got stupid very quickly. And then he had to make a video. I can't remember. I think he called me a bitch or something right in the title. And I thought, oh, there's something in the little true crime corner. If you put Miss Mensa in the title, then you'll have people watching it, which is so stupid. Like they created that whole thing. They create all their BS, I guess, for content. I don't know. Like Daniel Bishop admitted when he was told to attack me, he was told that I was not a real person. And Daniel Bishop was one of the worst, let me tell you. I know he seems like a nice person now, and he has apologized and he has removed the offensive videos. But he was pretty bad. And he admitted it, that they told him, yeah, don't worry about it. She isn't a real person. So it's evidently part of how the scammers do it, right? They have to have content. They have to figure out what to put in their titles, what little hashtags and everything. So when the Aussie guy pulled that little game, I thought, wow, he's just one of the scumbag attackers. But then over time, I thought, yeah, whatever. He's saying some interesting stuff from time to time, right? But you go back to when he pulled that crap, he was lying. And so were two of his mods. Outright lying. Okay? Then a long time after that, I actually kind of fell for the whole poor him because he had some communication issue. So he misread the signals and he grabbed someone's breast, right? But then it's like, no, you know what? No. It isn't okay to be grabbing someone's breast. And it's not okay to have a bunch of people trying to make excuses for it either. Well, then you kind of look at who he hangs with. And it's like, nope, sorry. But then he said he was going to be a grandpa. And I think the baby was just born like recently. And then I thought, good. And I even said to him, good, maybe now you'll be nice. And he actually did seem nicer, right? But I mean, if he's a scumbag attacker, he's a scumbag attacker. So whatever. And one of the channels that he is, I would say, tight with, they were interviewing on a different case that they've jumped all over. They were interviewing the sister of the father of the missing child. And I just thought this was just so ludicrous when I heard it. I don't know exactly, so it's not verbatim, but they asked the sister if she was ever inappropriately touched by him, by the father, right, of the child who's missing. And the sister's like, oh, no. Well, I'm sorry, but if you know anything at all about any type of abuse like that, that isn't exactly how the truth comes out. Ugh. So I don't know. I think there are just way too many people with criminal records who are running around creating channels and trying to neutralize the whole idea of sexual assault or abuse or child abuse. Look at how many child abusers. Look at how many animal abusers. Look at how many, look at the other accusation recently that was floating around. And the man who they were accusing of being some kind of a sex offender or whatever, when he talks about it in his videos, trying to act like he's just being, harassed or something, that people are just making it up, he never looks right at the camera and says it is absolutely false. I've never done anything of the sort or anything. He says things in a really strange way that it's kind of like, wait a minute. He isn't saying he didn't do it. He's pretty much saying he was never convicted of doing something like that. It was just kind of odd, I thought. It was just kind of odd. So how can it be that so many of these people have criminal records? How can it be that so many of these people are outright criminals? Look at the channel creator who called my house 3 times in the middle of the night and evidently was not quite as intelligent as she claims to be because she didn't block her phone number. she was careful to use an app to block her actual voice, but she evidently didn't read the fine print, if you know what I'm saying. And she sits up there on her high horse and calls herself a true crimer. I mean, what a collection of weirdos. What a collection of just absolute weirdos. There are some really good channels on YouTube. Why is it that with the case of Christopher Watts, besides Set the Record Straight and thought-provoking videos, and us, that the people who are talking about the case are a bunch of criminals? Why? What is it, like 1-800 hire a criminal? 1-800 dirty work or something? I don't know. It's weird. Star Mama says, I cannot imagine SW running a daycare center. I think evidently she couldn't either once she learned more about it, because she posted one time that she said, it's official. She was opening her own daycare center, and then she never said another word about it. She probably found out that she'd have to actually be there and not at home on social media. Aaron says, all right, kiddos, line up for Tylenol and Thrive bars. Cindy Watts told us in that one telephone conversation that I think it was 6:30 was when Christopher Watts' wife would give Bella and Cece their medicine. And Cindy said that when the girls saw that she had the syringe, she used the word syringe, that when Bella and Cece saw Christopher Watts' wife with the syringe in her hand, they would both immediately tilt their heads back and sit there and wait. Cindy Watts said it was like they looked like two little birdies. Isn't that terrible? Isn't that just so terrible that they were tilting their heads back for their night-night medicine when they should have been outside? They should have been taking a walk, playing in the backyard, having fun, and awake for another hour or so, right? Another couple hours with some attention from their parents, right? Nope. It was evidently me time for Christopher Watts' wife. It is a scary thought. I agree, Dolo. I think it is a scary thought. Star Mama says, and don't forget the Benadryl. Summer Breeze says, hey, my ex-sister-in-law got a job in a daycare center 6 weeks after she was arrested for harassment. Wow. Aaron says, yes, and Benadryl. Louisa says, I agree. She fell in love with his credit rating and the fact he didn't question all of her invisible illnesses. He took her words and ate them all up. Yep, that first date was probably a little bit of an interview. How's your credit rating? How's your income? What's your debt load? Think about it. 2.5 years after they got married, they had to file a bankruptcy and they walked away from over 70 grand. 2.5 years. So wait a minute here. He bought a house on his own. So in 2.5 years, or was the debt really all hers? Who knows? Well, we'll never know, right? Because we're never going to know the truth about this case because they don't tell people like us. Christy says, you know how we talk about the drastic measures post? It's being thrown around that maybe she was pregnant She may have had a co-signer. Yeah. Or maybe she filled out the income verification form when it was mailed to the office. Not sure. With all those meds, the babies could have gotten long-term side effects such as liver disease. I think the girls coughed a lot and had flushed cheeks due to being given Benadryl every day. It dries you out bad. Aw. Do you think that might have made Cece a little hyper too, or no? Oh, wow, I'm way behind. Sorry, guys. I'm way behind. I just came to all the twos. Christy says, don't do this to me, MM1 and 2. I know it. I'm the same way. There have been times where I've listened to him talk that I go, yeah, no, that was actually, that was actually like informative or interesting or whatever. But overall, I don't know. Maybe now that he's a grandpa, maybe now he'll change his ways, hopefully, and be a nice person. Bella says, some of these creators are just pulling for views. They are trying to get a piece of the pie. This is truly the only platform that gives a damn about the truth and what Bella and Cece endured. I agree, and I hate to say it, but I cannot think of one other channel that I trust except for Scott Reich. I think he has a good thing going on. But besides Scott Reich, sorry. You know what? If you're going to call my house 3 times in the middle of the night with a robo voice, then you're a piece of crap. Period. Get off YouTube. And while I'm on that subject, have you guys been watching? There's one guy who has really, I don't know his name and I don't know the name of the channel, so I shouldn't have brought it up. But there's a guy who's a lawyer, and he is talking about a certain case that's going on right now, a civil case for defamation. He's doing a really good job of talking about how the court process is going so far. But you know what I'm talking about, the case about defamation? I'm seeing people creating crap videos trying to make it sound like, oh, gee, she's fighting for everybody's right for free speech. In my opinion, that case has nothing to do with free speech. Nothing. Nothing at all. So I really hope that people aren't like, oh, wow, look at what she's fighting for. No, bullshit. And I'll leave it at that. Christy says, I'm hoping that he's really onto something. Star Mama says, I think that's why the girls were always thirsty too. Yeah. I mean, come on. Climbing over the counter like that at least a couple of times for photo ops, right? And they wanted water bottles for Christmas. Christy said, okay, what if I said to you, I actually believe that this case is fake, a psyops? Do you believe that, or are you just seeing what my reaction would be? What I think is that it is very strange that when an actual lawyer was offering to help Christopher Watts pro bono, that within 24 hours, they decided to run with YouTube. And they presented a couple of people who tried to act like they had a clue what they were talking about. And so far, neither one of them has said anything at all that they probably, I would say neither one of them has said anything at all that they probably didn't learn from either this channel or Set the Record Straight. They both climb up there and go, oh yeah, we did so much for them. What did they do? Nothing. 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 The banana goes on and on about how she did so much for the Watts family. She has done nothing. I think that's very weird. Seems to me that if they were going to spend a couple of years wanting a lawyer to take their son's case pro bono, then the day that a lawyer offered to take the case pro bono would have been a good day, not the day to suddenly shift gears and, I guess, hop on to support a YouTuber. So what would I say if you said that you thought it was fake? I'd say, you know what, Christy? A lot of people think it's fake. Star Mama says, those two beautiful girls are never the topic as it should be on every channel. Their lives were cut off because the ones who say they love them failed to get them the protection they needed. I think they should have been removed from the home. Marcia says, awesome. I love it when I catch a live. Star Mama says, hey, Sandy. Bella says, I do as well, but not this one. Christy says, agreed, Paula. They say they're doing it for SW, BW, CW, and NW, but no one cared enough for them when they were alive. Sue said, like Bill Clinton, he did not have sexual blank with that woman. Julie says that she was bullied by a creator. Let's guess the creator. Let's see. Did her name start with an L? Did her name start with a K, her real name, not her channel? Did her name start with an M? Jeanette says it's, what is it? Let me see here. First thing in the morning. I thought there were more hours difference. So did you get up just for a second or did you get up for the day? Exactly, Suze. They leaned their heads back like little chicks. That is so sad. What a sad image for Cindy to have. Louisa says, when she sold, she wanted to open up a daycare. I wonder if that's before or after she... Huh? Oh, when she said she wanted to open up a daycare, I wonder if that's before or after she something or other. I don't know what that means. She said she wanted to open up a daycare. I think it was in March or April of 2011. Exactly. 12 hours of sleep plus naps. Like, when did those kids get any interaction with their parents? Bella says, I know the past year I have seen some people just lose their mind and speak such nonsense, but never do they speak of the abuse that SW projected to her girls. Louisa says, I wonder if she said she wanted to open a daycare before or after she met Oh, it was before. She said she wanted to open a daycare after she babysat for 3 months she was still living in North Carolina. So, okay, December of 2009, she bought the house. January of 2010, she was named in a lawsuit as a defendant. And then she was dropped from that case. And my theory on that is it's possible that the plaintiff may have named her because I think she probably presented herself as being one of the owners. And so she got dropped. I'm not sure, but that's my hunch. And then in May of 2010, Lady Gaga was on the talk shows talking about the markers for lupus and during Lupus Awareness Month. And that's when she would later claim that she was diagnosed with lupus and fibromyalgia and Sjogren's all in the same week, which is kind of a medical miracle, I think. To think that one person would be diagnosed with all three in the same week, especially in the same week as her idol, Lady Gaga, during Lupus Awareness Month. Then in August, on August 10th of 2010, she went on her first date with Christopher Watts. And then 3 weeks later, we're told she quit her job, which is weird. And then, so that would have made it, what, like Labor Day weekend or something? So then, the month of September went by, the month of October went by. Gee, I wonder what she did with her time. And then the month of November practically went by. And at the end of November, she put an ad on care.com that she would babysit. And then she got hired by a woman who had one child at the time. And they were moving in a few months, but she babysat for one child for a few months. And then that job was over. And then a month or so later, she posted on social media that she was going to open a daycare center. And then she didn't. And then in June, the end of June, I think it was, in 2011, she said she was going to become a nurse, which I think was nothing, like I said before, but bullshit. So look at how much time was going by. It's not like she was, at home with a house full of kids and saving the expense of paying for daycare, right? She didn't have any kids at that point. Well, she didn't have any kids that she was raising at that point. What did she do with her time? Once again, we're asking that question because even when she did have a couple of kids to raise, they were in daycare full time while she was at home. What did she do with her time? Exactly, Suze. I think you guys are the only ones here talking about the babies. Christy agrees with you. Dolo says, SW should have noticed a 6:30 bedtime was wrong when her girls were in a school Christmas recital and the event didn't start until 7. Exactly, Dolo. Miss CD says, could be Benadryl can have that effect. Could be Benadryl can have that effect. Sue said, yes, it can cause fidgetiness if taken too much. Star Mama says, SW had credit cards in FR and SR name. I was told she had credit cards in the kids' names. That she had a stack of credit cards. I think she used others' income as hers. I don't know how, but she had a lot of credit cards in her billfold. I was told by a store owner that she had a deck of cards, is how they described it. And that when one didn't work, she pulled out another one. And when that one didn't work, she pulled out another one. Louisa says, it seems like SW is much like single white female going on, much like her friendship with Jennifer. It seems like she mimics other women. Yep, I think she was like a chameleon trying to figure out how she was supposed to act. Just Larry. Is he a good guy or a bad guy? Is that politician guy? Louisa says, I just want to know where the water bottles and something. Wow. Miss CD just said, I remember her saying when her Thrive finally kicked in, she felt so good that she fixed the girls' pancakes. Well, hallelujah, the girls got to eat. Louisa says, slippers the only gifts they got that Christmas. Wow. Sue says, I've thought about it being fake because it's so crazy. I think all of us have. Sue says, I think it's real though. What I think it's real, but I think that how people have been treated on social media, I think personally, I think that, well, at the very least, I think people are studying human behavior and trying to figure out how to control the narrative on things. And I think that the scumbag attackers are all part of the bullshit. I think they're trying to figure out how to control the narrative. And I think that the channel creators that have been hired and told what to say and they're reading their scripts and they're supposed to recruit others and everything, I think they're the scummiest of the scum on the planet. You know, I said it before. You know the saying always, there's a special place in hell for child abusers. Well, I think there's a special place in hell for people who make excuses for child abusers too. And I'm going to go ahead and add another one to the list. I think there's a special place in hell for the scumbag attackers. Aaron says, how heartbreaking is it that Bella and Cece got water bottles for Christmas and SW put the entire family into bankruptcy? Horrendous. Bella says his sister played a pivotal role in rejecting that attorney. Exactly. That's what the channel creator said, that Jamie contacted her and said, let's do it. It's time. So what's that about? Why on earth would they reject a pro bono lawyer? Sue says, what would be the reason to fake this, though? I don't think the tragedy itself is fake, but I think that they're trying to figure out how to control people on social media, how to control, basically make people afraid to talk, I guess. Miss CD is asking, did anyone else notice that in that interview the Thayers gave, Amanda has on the exact same orange shirt as SW in one of her videos? Yes. We noticed that early on, back in 2018, people were saying that whatever shirt that was from, whatever company that was from, that they typically, part of their sales pitch is that they have like originals. They don't have, that it would be rare to have the same exact shirt, the same exact print. I don't know. So they're like, what's that about? That was one of the things that people who were saying they didn't believe it was real, that it was like a wardrobe mistake. Sue said she was so full of it. Well, and you know, if you want to go down the fake tunnel here, I don't think she looked 34. I don't. The woman had wrinkles on her forehead. I don't think she looked 34. I don't. I didn't know she was wearing an earpiece. Are you kidding me? Because in that interview, it looked to me like she was kind of like nudging him when it was his line, you know? It was like, okay, it's your turn to talk now. That just seemed a little bit staged. Star Mama says all the jobs she wanted or had at times, MLM seemed to be so she could stay at home, but why need a daycare or pre-K if you work from home. I don't think she ever really worked Star Mama. And I think that the whole MLM thing was just to con Christopher Watson to believing she was actually producing any income. I think she was on disability. I did not notice an earpiece, you guys. I did not notice that. I did notice the shirt, but I didn't notice an earpiece. And I also noticed her nudging him like, I don't know, weird. Erin says, it's a lot easier being pregnant than actually getting off your butt and being a parent. Exactly. Star Mama says, do you think SW had a drinking problem and drank all day? I think she had a drinking problem. Yes, I do. Miss CD says, so you think Amanda had this shirt first and SW copied her? Well, the people who brought it up back in 2018 were saying that they think that it was a wardrobe mistake, that it would have been strange for them to have had the same exact shirt. They were the ones saying that the whole thing was fake and that it was a wardrobe mistake. Kay Cooper says, hello, my Bobs and Mensa. Hello, Kay Cooper. Erin says that, and I think prescription drugs as well. She was loopy as hell. Or actually, Erin says she was loopy as all hell. Her eyes alone tell a story of addiction to something. Star Mama says, Miss CD, good question. Sue says, what, no marshmallows? Bella says, yes, Star Mama, I believe she was a heavy drinker and hid it well. I'm not even sure she was hiding it. I mean, if you're going to honor your friend on the anniversary, I guess, of her, or actually on her birthday, and you're honoring her with her favorite drink, come on. Wasn't she pregnant the last time they got together? How often did she have that favorite drink? And you know, the Christmas when she wasn't making the house payment, she was telling people to sign up for the wine thing. I think you buy 6 bottles and you're supposed to get 36 bottles back or something, some wine pyramid. I don't know. I think she was a drinker, big time. Christy says, Miss CD, I think, so it's a LuLaRoe shirt, and SW probably. Star Mama. Hey, Cooper. Cooper? Where's Cooper? Oh, K Cooper. Okay. I was thinking of the other one. Oh my goodness. That's cute. Because I was ready to say, what's he doing in here? I think of K Cooper as K. I'm not tired. No. Jessica Lynn says, wait, you think there's scripts? I thought that was all a joke. Nope, it isn't a joke, Jessica Lynn. You're damn right there are scripts. And there have been right from the start. And at the very least, people are given talking points where they're supposed to say this and that and this and that. They're supposed to say how Christopher Watt's wife was so successful. Yeah, there are scripts. And if you watch really close, you'll see they're actually even reading them at times. Or if they're making a really shitty video that they've been told they have to make, then they go ahead and just put up a picture and sit there on their stupid couch and read their insults. Especially the ones against Cindy Watts. Those are terrible. And yes, there are scripts, and I'll tell you how I know it for a fact. Because these yahoos are not the brightest bulbs, okay? They're just not. And every once in a while, they mispronounce a word. People do not do not use words that they don't know. However, when they're reading scripts because they're trying to make some quick cash off of attacking innocent people on social media, then they are reading words that they don't know. And that's why they're mispronouncing the words. That's how it works. Dolo says, Miss CD, yes, and those pancakes were homemade. Yeah, according to SW, homemade pancakes. You know, she does more than 90% of the other women out there. I would hate to have a pancake that wasn't homemade. Like, what other kind is there? The kind you put in a toaster, maybe? Star Mama said, I heard a lady say there's a script and the lady that controls it is a nasty woman. Wonder who? I think you can ask Dave from Australia that. He can tell you. Aaron says 90% more than most moms. Yes, I remember that. Sheesh. What a thing to say. Proficiency with a phone doesn't count as actual work. Exactly. Sitting on your butt all day on social media, harassing people, claiming you have every disease and illness and condition, and evidently, you know, you've fallen in love with someone that it's going to take drastic measures or whatever, right? For you to be with the one you belong with. Sitting at home all day long, all week long, while your husband's at work and both of your children are in daycare is not work. And I'm sorry, but we know now that 99.9% of the people who sign up for product-based MLMs fail to ever see a penny of any profit. So let's tell it like it is. Sitting on our butt all day doing nothing except spending money that they couldn't afford to spend, that isn't work. Mandy says, I'm 35 and I look 5 years younger at least. Mandy has good self-esteem. I'm 61 and I look 5 years younger at least also. I think everybody in here looks 5 years younger at least. I think Christopher Watt's wife looked like she was like 37 or 38 or 40 or more. Spacebound says, yeah, she looked a bit older, agree. NK and I, what? I don't like picking on her, and I'm not. The lemonade, the lemon drop. Yeah, I said lemonade. Yeah, they lined up the lemon drops and honored her. Well, I don't know. To me, there were way too many posts of her talking about getting schnockered. And do you remember the one where she was pregnant and she's taking a picture of Christopher Watts holding up 2 drinks and claiming they were both for him? Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure they were. And you know what? That police investigation, when the autopsy report showed that she had a BAC of 0.128, then the police went back to the friends and said, hey, do you think that she was drinking? And they're like, oh, no. She wouldn't drink while she was pregnant. Yeah. Evidently, that was the extent of the investigation. Star Mama says her eyes in that Christmas video were really dark and scary. Kay Cooper says SW had her own script for oxys. I think she abused them. Spacebound said, I do too, Cooper. Question for you. Number 1, yes. Number 2, no. Do you think that it was actually Cindy Watts who was posting comments on, I can't remember what channel, but there was a video posted saying that Cindy Watts was posting comments, I think on the True Tam channel. Do you think that was actually Cindy Watts? 1 yes, 2 no. Erin says, Star Mama, that Christmas video blew me away, and not in a good way. Her lack of self-awareness was astounding. And also accountability. Why didn't anybody hold her accountable for her behavior? Why? And I'll say it again. Why were Bella and Cece not removed from that home? Kay Cooper says, yeah, did y'all happen to listen to the August 23rd, 2018 CBI interview with Frank Jr.? Very interesting. Bella says, very hard to understand Jr. Spacebound says, that's Frank Sr. Star Mama says, hey, Spacebound, I think she was closer to 40. She said she had Botox. She had Botox? Are you kidding me? Ugh. I wonder if she belonged to a Botox support group on Facebook. She probably said like the MLM helped her Botox or something. I don't know. Christy said, I did, Kay Cooper. I'd never heard it before. Very kind of telling, wasn't it? Spacebound says, Star Mama, that's probably about right. Agree. 40? You guys think 40? Let me see if you voted yet on the yes, no, yes, no. Yes, yes, True Tim channel. No, 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 no. Yes, no. Well, here's my opinion on that. I don't think Cindy's on posting comments. I really don't. I also don't think that the people who are claiming that they're talking with her are actually talking with her. I don't think they're being truthful. Oops. Let's see here. Jessica Lynn says, is Dave now in contact with Ronnie that you know of? I highly doubt it. Highly doubtful. Kay Cooper says, Bella, I know, but I happen to live near the Watts family and us Carolinians probably, have this weird accent, so I had no trouble understanding them. LOL, lots of love. Kay Cooper says, Christy, I know, right? It was very telling. I think my jaw dropped a couple times. Louisa says, SW looked mid-40s. Really? I think 40. I think 40s. Yeah, I do. Erin says, I'm almost 46. I look at least 7 years younger. All right. You're in the right group then. Jessica Lynn says, SW doesn't seem the type to tell if she did or didn't drink while pregnant. True Tam channel. 1, 2, 2, 2. Dolo says, what the heck did she really do all day? Exactly. What did she do all day? I think she stayed in bed. I really do. I think she stayed in bed, sat on her duff, played on social media. I don't think she planted any flowers, that's for sure. Jessica said Cindy went into another chat for... Really? I think it's fake. You want to know why I don't think it's Cindy? Because in that video where they're showing her doing comments on the True Tam channel, the comment that they posted saying that it was Cindy had the same misspelled words that the scumbag attackers misspell every time. The same misspelled words. And I happen to know that Cindy Watts knows how to spell. She isn't stupid. And I don't mean that if you don't know how to spell that you're stupid, but Cindy Watts is very intelligent and she knows how to spell. And she's the type of person who cares about her spelling and her grammar. There's no way in hell that those comments are from Cindy Watts. Bullshit. I call bullshit. Sue says, no, she doesn't need to be harassed anymore. Christy says, isn't there just Paula? Huh? Bella says, Cindy has been very meek and demure. However, I do believe she will reveal a lot of truths about SW one day. Cindy knows a lot that she hasn't said yet. Kay Cooper says SW had to be pushing 42 at least. I think 42 might be right. I do believe it. Bella says, agree, Kay. Aaron says, Kay Cooper, yes, 42 at least. I think 42. Christy says, OMFG. Jessica Lynn says, oh, interesting. Wow. Not in that order. Julie says, it's my first time here, but I'm loving this channel. Everyone and chat are so nice. No bullying. Chilled. Thanks for being so nice. It's 6 a.m. here, so better get some beauty sleep. I need it. LOL. Lots of love. Good night. Good night, Julie. Christy says, total giveaway. Then, that it wasn't Cindy. It was not Cindy. I'll tell you, it wasn't Cindy. That's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. Must be their content is getting slim, you know? Plus, they have to keep on trying to make Cindy the villain, right? She's been one of the scapegoats, just like me and just like those, you know, the others that they've been attacking. They really need new script writers. They really do. I've been saying that for 3 years. They need to get better script writers because their script writers just totally suck and they can't spell and they're just, well, what they really need to do is get off social media and stop with the bullshit. You know, whatever they set out to do, they failed because the discussions on this case are still going strong. They may not be right on YouTube, but there are a lot of discussion groups discussing this case who absolutely believe that Christopher Watts did not murder anybody. Aaron says, which is why I doubt the pregnancy. I'm not saying you can't get pregnant in your 40s. Of course you can, but I'm just not buying the last pregnancy. A lot of us are not buying the last pregnancy, Aaron. Kay Cooper says, I was thinking the other day, out of all of the tons of videos and pics SW took and had taken of her, I've never seen her actually driving. Never. Just sitting in the driver's seat. Exactly. And I made that comment a long time ago that I think she was sitting in the driveway. Even when Bella was singing Daddy is My Hero, I think she was sitting in the driveway. I do not think she had the keys to the car. Look at how bright red Bella's cheeks were. Unless she had Theo cheeks going on, I think that what we've been told by people who insist that there was an open CPS case, I think it's true what we've been told, because we've been told that one of the conditions of the family plan was that she was not allowed to drive with the girls in the car. I think any of those pictures from her, you know, sitting in the car with the girls, I think the car was turned off, meaning the air conditioning was turned off, meaning Bella's cheeks were probably rosy red from the heat. Marcia says, welcome, Julie. I think Julie's saying goodnight already. Christy says, see you, Julie. Yeah, see, Julie's saying goodnight. Aaron says, Julie, I wish you good sleep. Star Mama says, goodnight, Julie. Sue says, do a spell check. Private Pirate says, would Cindy have been in a position to know something like what SW was doing in Indiana? As I understand it, she didn't have much contact with her son's family for several years. Why do you think that? Is that what you're being told? That Cindy didn't have contact with Christopher Watts and his wife for several years? Because this is what I've been told, that when Christopher Watts and his soon-to-be wife treated Cindy and Ronnie and Jamie and everyone else like shit, and Cindy and Ronnie and everyone else decided not to attend the wedding, that after that it was 4 months, maybe 5 months, but say 4.5, 5 months, when they hooked up again. And when they hooked up again, everything was fine. I think it was fine because I think Ronnie and Cindy, probably rolled over and apologized and kissed everyone's butts. Jeanette says, have the R's fallen out with MRB? I don't know if they've fallen out or if they've just moved on. Kay Cooper says, SW wasn't pregnant at all, in my opinion. I don't think she was either. Star Mama says, I think she filmed herself driving with the kids sitting in the driveway, pretending. Exactly. I do too. Aaron says, Cooper, great comment about driving. Wow. Kay Cooper says, me too, Star. Mandy Bella. Well, I would hope she wouldn't take videos, pictures driving. That's a cute one. We needed that, Mandy. Thank you. Aaron says, dang, everything was manufactured. How's that go, Aaron? The world is a stage. Kay Cooper says, yeah, it always bothered me, Aaron. SW bragged constantly about that stupid car, but yes, she never drove it. And it was a leased vehicle in Christopher Watt's name. I am so tired of people saying how she bought the Lexus. No, she didn't. She earned the Lexus. Baloney. It was a leased vehicle in Christopher Watt's name. If she was successful, why wasn't the car in her name? Mandy says, Aaron, agreed, like so many. Aaron says, Cooper, exactly. Star Mama says, if she could drive, why did CW come home and get the car and pick the girls up every night? Exactly. But I believe what we've been told about an open CPS case, that she was not allowed to be alone with the girls, that she was not allowed to drive with the girls, blah, blah, blah. Aaron says, Star Mama, I always attributed that to SW just being lazy. It's all connecting now. Bella says there had to be something going on. Why else would her father fly in from North Carolina to escort her and the girls back to North Carolina? Just odd. And also, didn't she act like she flew with the girls all by herself? Weren't there a couple of ridiculous posts where she was acting like she was, all that because she actually flew with her own children? Like, that's a big deal. And then, no, we found out that actually her father flew with the girls. Private Pirate says, I read or heard that after the wedding, they didn't talk for a very long time. I think it was 4 months, Private Pirate. They started talking when she posted on Facebook that she was pregnant with Bella. And she got pregnant 4 months after the wedding. So when she posted the announcement on Facebook that she was pregnant, that's when Ronnie and Cindy called and groveled and apologized and, were blessed with the presence of their son in their lives again. Kay Cooper says, Mandy, I said others taking videos and pics of her constantly too. I don't ever expect anyone to film while driving. Private Pirate says, I don't believe everything I read or hear, which is why I ask. Kay Cooper says, yes, she earned the Lexus using CW's hard-earned money. Exactly. And isn't that kind of weird? I mean, this whole fallacy that she was some sort of a successful MLMer. Are you kidding me? They didn't even own a car. I'm sorry, but if they didn't even own a car, they had to file a bankruptcy. There were at least 3 missed house payments. They were due in court because they evidently couldn't afford the HOA payments, right? And we're all supposed to go along with this bullshit narrative that they were a successful couple and everything was fine until he started doinking his coworker. Please. Aaron says, dude was out in the sun all day working. CW, I mean. Exactly. With the job he had, and then he had to go home, change his clothes, hop in the car, go drive to the daycare center while she sat on her butt playing on social media. Hello. My question is, how long after they got married did he start wondering whether or not she ever really made any money? Well, here's what I think. I think in her 32nd week of pregnancy with Bella, I think that she showed him exactly what she was made of. And I think from that point forward, he wanted out. I do. Bella says, Cindy knew from the moment of meeting SW something was very wrong. We as women have an intuition in our beings that just know when something is off. Cindy pegged it day one. She just didn't see it, is what she said. She just didn't see it working out with the two of them. And was she ever right? Kay Cooper says, hell, they didn't even own a dang dining room table. I'm glad someone brought up the dining room table. Have you ever heard of anybody getting a dining room table repossessed? Really? And then when Cindy asked her about it, she said something along the lines of how she wanted to get the other one instead, when the other one was clearly nothing at all like the first one. And then that was it. Conversation was over. And of course, Cindy didn't push it, right? But she knew something was weird. Just like when all of a sudden the friend who used to be the topic of conversation on a daily basis, all of a sudden Christopher Watt's wife stopped mentioning that friend's name. And Cindy wondered about it, right? But didn't push it. I think the friend knew dang well that there was an open CPS case. Because I believe what people are saying, that the CPS case was opened after an incident at the hospital in December of 2016. Aaron says, Bella, especially when it comes to our kids. Louisa says, why? Bella says, yes, Aaron, I have 2 sons. We know. Star Mama says, he came home, fed the kids, bathed them, got their bags ready and clothes out for the next day. He even fixed breakfast for them. I wonder if they were homemade pancakes when he packed his lunch in the mornings. Louisa says, what happened when SW was 32 weeks pregnant? She was doing a blog for Bella where she was posting all sorts of stuff, and then all of a sudden at 32 weeks, she never posted again. I think she had some kind of an issue. Mandy says, wow, perfect example of living outside your means. I think it's so much more than that, Mandy. I do. I think it's perfect. I would say the perfect example of living a lie, a total lie. Aaron says, Bella, 2 boys here as well. We know. Yes, yes, yes. Louisa says, Chris was, huh? Oh, there we go. Disillusioned. I think he was very naive, but I think by the time they had Bella, he was trapped. Just my opinion. And I think he was surrounded by people telling him that he can't get divorced because the baby is too little and she has to nurse and blah, 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 blah. And then I think probably when she was, what was Bella, 10 months old? I think he was probably like, yep, I'm going to have to divorce and make sure everything's okay. Back when this case first hit the headlines, well, not when it first hit, but a couple months later, there were a lot of people in the discussion group saying that there was an open CPS case when Bella was a baby, too. I don't know. Nobody's called me about that. Let's see. The owners of MLM make money by speaking at the events, selling tickets for conventions, selling self-help books. And you know what else I think they sold? I'm not sure. But I think for a fee, you could get yourself in their magazine, too. Not sure. Christy says that blog was bizarre. Louisa says that her phone is being stupid. Oopsie, I missed one here. Kay Cooper says, exactly, Star. He didn't even need her around. In fact, having her around was more work for him. He couldn't afford to have her around. That's why when they go with the BS narrative that the, doink and the coworker is what broke up the marriage, really? That marriage was already over long before he started doinking the coworker. Star Mama said, I saw a lot of videos on different MLMs she was involved in. Yep. Aaron says he did the laundry also. Yes, he did. Oh, wait. Star Mama said that. Yeah, Star Mama said that. Aaron said, Cooper, more work and 10 times more expensive. Can you imagine his stress level? Della says, I wonder what type of dining room set would have complemented that dark purple ceiling. Bella says he didn't want to leave Bella with her. He was trapped and felt he had no alternative but to stay. And then kaboom, she was pregnant when Bella was 10 months old. And he probably thought, oh, my goodness. Jeanette says, why didn't Christopher Watt's mother-in-law fly to Colorado till the Friday? Could it be she just had flown back? Ooh, Jeanette. She appeared to know what was going on before it happened. How's that Jeopardy thing go? I can't remember. If I was really tech savvy, I would be playing the Jeopardy theme song right now. Kay Cooper says, Aaron, I know I do not know how he kept his cool all those years. Have you guys ever known anyone who has been married to somebody with a mental illness? I know of one person, and he always just kept his cool and always just focused on taking care of the kids, putting his time in at work, making sure he had a place for the kids when he was at work. And basically, he lived his life just hoping that there wasn't a disaster. And I'll never forget the evening. It was back when my kids were really young and I was dispatching for the state police. And we got a call in on a house fire. And I had no clue of the address, no clue at all. It wasn't until later that I learned that was it was at that point his ex-wife. She had supervised visits only with their children. And it was during a supervised visit. There were two women supervising, right? And the house burnt down. Yeah. That's how his life was. Constantly worried about his kids. Constantly worried about keeping them safe. And that was with supervised visits. I think Christopher Watts was in a position where he just wanted to make sure everyone had food, they were safe, everything was fine, right? You guys are talking about the colors. That's cute. Kay Cooper says, thank you, Jeanette. I've always asked exactly why did SW's family not go to Colorado when they went missing? Ronnie went. Well, you know how people have contacted me, right? Well, I've had people contact me about that issue too. Star Mama says, I think if she was pregnant, it was not CW's. That video when she told him she was pregnant was eye-opening. I agree. Kay Cooper says, yep, my ex-husband, he kept his cool but was still a nightmare to live with. LOL, lots of love. Sue says, my brother, his wife was terrible. So you guys know what I'm saying, right? That's how they act. It's not because they're so in love with it, right? It's because they have kids and they basically are just focused on trying to keep the kids safe. Star Mama says, yes, I knew a man whose wife was mentally ill. She called him at work and she shot. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Not good. Kay Cooper says, OMG, Mensa, I'm so sorry. I actually am very, very interested in becoming a dispatcher for my sheriff's department because being a dental assistant is killing my back. I would say go for the state police. I don't even know what state you live in. Are you North Carolina? Go for the state police. I'm sorry, Kate Cooper. You don't have to say where you are. I shouldn't have asked you. Aaron says, Star Mama, that is just beyond tragic. I know it. It's terrible. Bella says, mental illness is easily noticeable in the eyes. Woo. Sharon says, morning. Hey, Sharon. So it is a good question, isn't it? I think in one of the police interviews, one of the family members said that if somebody would have sent him money or something, then he would have been out there. Summer Breeze says, Samantha, Star Mama, that wasn't Andrea Yates, was it? Andrea had 5 children. Can you guys name Andrea's children? I know there was baby Mary, and then there was like a Noah, probably. I don't know. They were all biblical names. Okay, Cooper, if you're in North Carolina, definitely go to the state police. They're super nice there, and they're super with it. I don't know what area you live in, but I would say definitely go to the state police. Definitely. Right, Summer Breeze. She drowned her babies in the bathtub. Aaron says, Summer, I think Andrea drowned her kids, going way back. Star Mama, that's tragic. Yes, she did. Yes, Luke was one of them. There was Mary, Luke, I think, and Noah, right? I used to know those names. Star Mama says, Cooper, that job would give me a headache. No, it wouldn't. You would love it, Star Mama, and you'd be really good at it. The state police are known for training personnel very well. And with training, you can do anything. Dolo says, I was the dispatcher for the Popo before I had my children. All right. How many dispatchers do we have in the house? We are a special breed, Dolo. A special breed. The pictures of SW without makeup never showed the lupus rash. I wonder if she kind of like knew how to, poof it on. Kay Cooper says, awesome. Thanks for that advice. I will look into that for sure. You'll love it, Kay Cooper. Louisa says, huh? Aaron says, Christy says, hold on. I missed Aaron. Aaron says, Cooper, go for it. Yes, Cooper, you will do well. And you'll get hired right away. You will. Christy says, and Susan could have been helped. Susan? Are you talking about Andrea? Or do you mean Susan Smith? I think you're talking about Andrea Yates. John Samuel Jacob? I'm going for it, girl. At Aaron. Bella has a Jacob. Star Mama says, how did she stay in the sun as much as she did with lupus? Okay, a 1 if you think she had lupus, a 2 if you think she was lying. There's my vote. I think if she had lupus, I really think the autopsy might have mentioned it, don't you? Just saying. Now I'm excited that Kay Cooper's going to go get that job. I think that's cool. Very cool. We do want to hear all about it. Not all about it, because you can't tell us all about it. But we want to hear how fast you get hired, because I bet you're going to get hired fast. Kay Cooper says, Susan Smith was down here near me in South Carolina. She is a wacko. She might not have been as wacko as you think, though, because I think she had a wacko situation going on. I think she might have started off normal. Just my opinion. I think she had a wacko home life. Yes, her husband, Andrea Yates' husband, what was his name, Rusty or something, had them living on a bus. And she was an RN. She was she was an actual RN. She was actually a nurse, not just lying about it, like in the case of Christopher Watts. She was very smart. She was hardworking. I think she had some kind of like pregnancy thing going on. And the doctor said, do not have more kids. Here we go. The Yates kids, Samuel, Jacob, Noah, John, and Mary. Thank you, Bella. Christy, yes, Bella, that's the poor lady I was talking about. Super sad story. And she wasn't supposed to be alone with the kids either, right? Did you know that? Her mother-in-law was spending the time with her while her husband was at work, but that morning, I think he had a meeting or something, and the mother-in-law was either running late or there was an hour lapse or something. And he had just left for work, and it happened. Aaron says, the fact that Susan Smith escaped the death penalty still pisses me off. It doesn't me, because of the fact of how strange her life was. I think she was victimized really bad. And I think it warped her. Yes, Kay Cooper, that's the same. And just my opinion, that's the department that you want to work for. Star Mama says, I don't think SW was sick at all except in her head. Just my opinion. That's just my opinion too. How many of you agree with Star Mama? 1 if you agree, 2 if you disagree. Why am I doing all these stupid little polls tonight? Like, I don't think I've done one of these in a long time, and now tonight I'm going one right after another. Uh-oh. My battery saver mode again. Let's see here. Here it is. Uh-oh. I think I have it in upside down. Hold on. Yep, I had it in upside down. Well, I didn't have it in all the way, obviously. We agree with you, Star Mama. 11111. I'll say it again. Star Mama says, I don't think SW was sick at all except in her head. Just my opinion. Oh, Mary thinks she was actually sick. Let me see if there are more. I only see one number 2. I think she was sick mentally, and I think she was sick mentally for many, many years, long before she met Christopher Watts. Bella says Susan was a sociopath. She was victimized, yet she chose to kill her boys for a wealthy man, the son of the man who employed her. Very wealthy family in South Carolina. But there's more to that story. There's more to it. I don't know if it's true or not, but evidently she was sexually abused, and evidently that was still happening even after she had her children, which is really weird. So there's something very weird about her role, right, in the man's world, okay? And so she viewed, just my opinion, I think she viewed the son of the owner of the business where she worked, I think she viewed him as her safety zone. And when she lost that safety zone, I think there was some kind of a weird layer of, because I truly think that she loved her children. I think her weirdness came from a very primitive level, I think, of just bare bones survival. I'm not sure. There's just something so twisted about what was coming out about that case. Hey, Renee. Nowadays, the surgeons barely leave a scar. Hi, Renee. Miss CD says, Star Mama, I didn't even have a neck brace after my surgery, and I had C5 through C7 removed. Are you kidding me? You are kidding me. And you work the long hours that you work? Wow. Renee says, hello, question. Lots of lurkers who don't vote. I know it, but they're having fun watching us. So everyone turn and wave at the lurkers. Hey, scumbags, why don't you join the conversation? Why don't you discuss the case with us? Oh, wait, we forgot. You don't know diddles about the case. I stopped myself from swearing. Kay Cooper says, absolutely, Aaron. It costs millions to do lethal injection, and all you need for the fire... Oh, we're getting racy now. Christy says, hi, Renee. Miss CD says, exactly. Mine is a very light scar, more in the front, on the side of my trachea, not up on the side. I think that scar was something you can do with a tube at the Halloween store. Bella says she was... Oh, Susan Smith? Yes. And I, from what I read, it was even after she had the children. Private Pirate just asked the question, who was allegedly abusing her? And Bella just answered it right here. She was allegedly molested by her stepfather, even as an adult, which is so weird. Aaron says Cooper and one blank. Oh my gosh. Star Mama. Miss CD, how you doing? Wow, that's a lot. Kay Cooper, until she was arrested. Wow, I didn't know that. Mandy says, does anyone think there was Munchausen by proxy going on? Mandy, this is the channel that Munchausen by proxy was born on. Renee says, hello, Erin. Miss CD says, it was 3 years ago. Doing great. Miss CD has a really bubbly personality, though. She could be in pain and she'd still say she was fine. Renee says, yep, hello to you. Miss CD says, I have a titanium plate. No neck problem at all. Bella says he wrote her a letter stating he loved her but didn't want kids. Oh, the boyfriend? Yeah, didn't he say something like, I'm sure they're great kids or something like that, but I don't want to. Or was that the Diane Downs boyfriend? Miss CD says, I plan on retiring in 5 to 7 years. Good. Mary says, good vibes. Kay Cooper says, Miss CD, God bless you, girl. I have 2 slip discs and 1 bulging disc in the lumbar area of my spine. I get spinal injections, but I refuse to have surgery. Renee says, hello, Christy. Spacebound says, Mandy Bella with SW, yes. Aaron says, Kristen, welcome. Miss CD says, Kay Cooper, I've had those epidural injections. They help. Welcome, Kristen. Oops. Hey, lurkers, join an MLM. They probably already have. They're probably staying home all week long while their kids are in daycare, and they call it work. And then they go off for the weekend fun, and then they call that a business trip. Oh, my. I still like the question of whether or not any of us think that there might have been Munchausen by proxy going on. That was such a cute question. We've talked about that a lot here. That's why I'm giggling. Kay Cooper says, oh, they helped me so much too, Miss CD. I'm so glad you're doing well. I learned some good exercises at the physical therapist the other day for, what's it called? What's it called? Miss CD, help me here. What's it called? Oh, crap. What's the word? What's the word for balance? Is it? No, it's not ventricular. That's something else. What's the word? What's the system, like the crystals in your ear? Or if you have fluid in your ear and then you have like an equilibrium thing? What's that system? Nope, not vertigo. That can happen. No, the system. Nope, not that. It's the word for the system. Like, how like if your eyesight, your toes, your balance, not equilibrium, it's the word for the system. It's not ventricular, but it sounds something like that, evidently, because that's the word that keeps coming to my tongue. Yes, yes. Vestibular. Thank you, Private Pirate. The vestibular system, where, like, you do the crossover, where when you walk, you do like the one hand over, to the opposite side, and the grounding, your feet on the ground, and the thing with tilting your head back and the chin tuck and the looking over your shoulder, that kind of thing. Just little exercises you can do. That's if you have like an ear infection or an earache or something. Or if your little crystals get, I don't know. Did I tell you guys about the hummingbird the other day? I can't remember. I've told so many people, I can't remember if I've told you guys. Did you guys remember? Did I tell you about the hummingbird? I got attacked by a hummingbird the other day. I think it was a hummingbird. If it wasn't a hummingbird, then it was a very big wasp or hornet or something. Uh-oh, we're losing someone who's going good. Oh, Aaron's going good night. Good night, Aaron. Yes, inner ear. Exactly. Renee says, I've had 3 back fusions. The pain sucks. I've had hardware put in my back. Then a few years later, that hardware was removed and new hardware put in to extend the fusion. Then a 3rd fusion. Wow, you're gutsy. Mary says, good night, Aaron. Aaron says, Cooper, good night, girl. Christy says, see you later, Aaron, next time. Aaron says, Mary, right, night, night. I need to get closer to the computer screen, I guess. Star Mama says, night, Aaron. Did you really? Was it a ruby red something or other, red throat something? Ooh, murderer. You murderer. Well, I didn't realize it. The hummingbird feeder, we have hummingbird feeders around the house, okay? So the hummingbirds have been going to the same place all the time. Well, I didn't realize it, but the one feeder was empty right by where one of the swings are out on the, I'll call it the deck, I guess. It's not really a deck, but whatever. Patio? I don't know what to call it. And I was actually, have you ever had that moment where you just think, oh, I'm just going to relax in the sun and just, take a break and whatever. So this is one of my, I'm just going to relax in the sun moments, right? And I'm walking to my little perch on that particular swing. Well, evidently the hummingbird was cruising in to try to get some sweet water from the hummingbird feeder. Right when, I don't know, my forehead met the hummingbird. And in fairness to the hummingbird, I was wearing a very brightly colored flowery shirt. So that's what I'm blaming it on. But that sucker drilled into my forehead. I mean, it felt like the movie The Birds, the Alfred Hitchcock movie. It was like right on my forehead. And it kind of I hit it hard. And that sucker was strong. And then he dive bombed a few times after that. I have never heard of anybody getting bit by a hummingbird, ever. I grabbed one of the, how the little packs of antiseptic wipes, whatever. I grabbed one of those really fast and put it right on it. And that coolness, there was something that just stung so bad when it first hit. But then that coolness really helped. It swelled up a little bit, but I think it would have swelled up a lot more if I wouldn't have put that right on it right away. Private Pirate says, off topic, but if you have an old dog, look up canine vestibular disease. My 16-year-old dog had this recently, and we thought she was a goner. She's okay now. Everyone with an old dog should know this. Is that when they tip over? The dog that we had for 14 and a half years, she started tipping over when she was in her last year. Renee said, after a new MRI, I found out that the severe pain I've been going through is because I'm in need of a 4th fusion. Ooh, Renee, I'm sorry. Star Mama says, Sandy, oh no, that's scary. Yikes. Kay Cooper says, I don't know. It was like destroyed after I wasn't paying attention and hit my windshield. Oh my goodness. I think, Kay Cooper, I think you and I are the only two people I know who have hummingbird issues. Bella says, oh no, Renee. Oh, Christy says we should be called it the Fusion Club. Or I don't know, like the I must be getting tired. I was gonna say like the spine pain, whatever, I don't know. I don't know if you're on a first name basis with your physical therapist, right? I love my physical therapist. He's such a good kid. He helps me keep my, what do you call it? Mine is a C5. I feel like we're at an AA meeting or something. Hello, my name is, and I have a C5. Mine's a C5 issue where I don't have to go all the time at all, but every once in a while I have to go in, I call it for a tune up, because it just gets like if I turn a certain way, or if, like, I don't know if you guys know what I mean if I say chin thrust, where I have to do the exercises where I'm tucking my chin and doing the head stretches, the neck stretches and stuff, because it just gets it's like my posture begins to get to where I'm kind of like leaning forward a little bit, because it's just more comfortable that way. So I go in for a tune up, and then he reefs on my neck, and it's great. It feels great. And then I feel like, yes. I can actually look to the side, because that's what I start doing. If I start getting really tight in the neck, then I start not turning as much to the side. Well, when you don't turn to the side, then pretty soon you're not turning to the side at all, right? And then pretty soon your neck gets even tighter. So he's great. He just it's the perfect, twisting and turning and reefing, and I don't know. He's a good guy. When I had my C5 injury, my doctor said, do everything you can do in physical therapy, because you do not want to have surgery. So I think I was going 3 times a week at first. And then after that, like, I think it was once a week for quite a while. And with me, with the vestibular thing, if my neck hasn't been reefed on, and I'm saying that in a loving way, I don't mean that he's hurting it at all. But if I haven't seen the physical therapist in a while, or if I've been not doing my little neck exercises, then I can start feeling the vestibular thing. And then when my neck gets loosened up again, then I don't have the vestibular thing. That's actually how I can kind of know that my neck is tightening up, is if I start to feel just like, if, again, like I'm saying, I'm at the point where I just don't turn my head as far as I should. I use my mirrors in the car a lot more. Mandy says, I'm in Connecticut, and this summer I've only had a couple hummingbirds. There are usually so many. Where are you? Mandy, I can tell you're new. Star Mama says, that's awful pain anywhere is not fun at all. Renee says, I'm again meeting with a surgeon for a 4th surgery because of extreme pain. I'm pretty tough and have a high tolerance to pain. LOL, lots of love. Elise says, sorry, MM, but that is hilarious. I have been attacked by a bird, and it's scary. It is. It is scary. It's like, and if you haven't watched the Hitchcock movie, The Birds, you should know that's the first scary movie I ever saw as a child. It was terrible. And then when we went up to bed, my brother, being the brat, came flying out of the closet at the end of the hallway with like flying washcloths and towels and everything. And he, screamed at the birds or whatever. And I remember just screaming and running back downstairs. That was terrible. I've never heard of a hummingbird doing that. And I swear that sucker was trying to drill into my forehead because I hit him hard and he stayed right there for a second until I hit him harder. You would think my scream would have been enough to scare him away, too. Kay Cooper says, I refuse to have surgery because I saw what it did to my father. And it's a vicious cycle of constant surgeries, more pain, meds, etc. No thanks. That's what my doctor said. He said, you don't want to have surgery. Sandy says, they're like little dinosaurs. That did cross my mind at one point after it happened because, when it was happening, I had my eyes closed and I was hitting. But I know it was, whatever. But just for a second, I thought, oh my God, what if it was a bat or something? And I just thought it was a hummingbird. And then I was thinking, I bet it's just like a supersized hornet or wasp or something because there's no way a hummingbird would be attacking me. So, yeah, it was kind of freaky there for a second. Christy said, sure is, Kay Cooper. I need another one, but the year in wheelchairs, moon boots, crutches, therapy, just avoiding it. Renee says, Star Mama, there's plenty of pains in the asses out there. LOL, lots of love. Ray has a good idea. What about acupuncture? I like acupressure. Renee says, LOL, are you sure it was a hummingbird and not one of those huge killer hornets? I know, right? No, I think it was a hummingbird because there was a hummingbird dive bombing me afterwards. Christy says, thanks, and you too, Cooper. You guys are praying for each other. That's cool. Elise says, we have magpies and they swoop. It took me a minute to realize what it was, and I have never run so fast in my life. I know I screamed really well. Oh my gosh. My neighbor's probably like, why is she screaming? You can wear an empty ice cream container on your head to keep them away. Oh, if I'm wearing an empty ice cream container, then I'd probably be reminded of ice cream. Dolo, where I live, we had the 17-year plague of cicadas. Oh, is it 17-year or 7? Is it 7 or 17? I thought it was 7. They dive at your head. You know what? I totally forgot about that. Because I did have one land on my head. I had my hair up, like tucked up in the back, and I had one land on it. Let me think what year it was. 2009. I think it was in August of 2009. So let's see. I thought it was 7-year. So that'd be 16, and so that wouldn't be enough. That was on the East Coast. And I'm pretty sure it was 2009 because I remember where I was at. Let's see here. Okay, Cooper says, I've been attacked by them swooping birds a couple times before because they wanted to plant their nest on my porch and I got too close. Exactly. Renee says, thanks for welcoming me to your group. I just came across your channel. We actually have a policy here, Renee, where all opinions are welcome. We just like it for people to talk about the case and like not to come in and try to fight. We don't ask for much, just don't fight. Don't fight and be real. Is it 17? I thought it was 7. Well, 2009 and 17. Are you on the East Coast? Christy says, it's always fun here, Renee. We are kind of boring, though. Hey, you guys, do you want to come up with a name? I put a message on Scott Reich's channel. I can't remember what I called it. I said, I just thought I'd let you know that you made the top 100. I think I called it Real Men or something like that. Real Men in the World or something like that. But we should come up with a name for it. And I'm trying to figure out how to put all of the pictures. But to do it, and I'm not sure if I'm right, I think I have to download all the pictures, and I really don't want to. I have to get my videos up on Patreon. That's what I have to do. No, I'm not at all in love with him. Jeanette, not at all. He's a kid. I think he is just he's so talented and so smart, and I just really respect the profession because I think that, he barely reefs on my neck at all. But when he does, it's amazing. I'm just a believer in that kind of healthcare where, learning the exercises and stuff, it really helps. I would much rather see the physical therapist than take pain pills or whatever. And he is very impressive. His wife is a medical doctor, and the two of them, I'm sure, they were probably both in the top of their classes for sure, because he's just so smart. Kay Cooper, since we're talking about birds, I do think that there was something about the nose and the overbite. I think she had braces. And back before you guys were born, they used to actually pull teeth for braces, which is part of why I think she was a lot older than what they're saying, because they stopped doing that before you guys were born. Can you kind of tell, like, from the nose to the upper lip kind of thing? It's like, well, I think she had braces back long before she would have had braces if she was 34. I think Eddie Vedder is in. Isn't Eddie Vedder the singer to, what was the band? I think he's on the list. Isn't he? Let me see if I have the list here. I think I do. I'm pretty sure Eddie Vedder's on there. And in fact, I think I had him on there twice, because he was the singer. I think I had his band and him both. Let's see here. Yeah, Pearl Jam. Is it Pearl Jam Eddie Vedder or no? Is that right? Help me here. I don't know. Yes, Pearl Jam. He's on the list. I had him on there twice accidentally. Okay, let me see. Someone else is saying that they're... Here we go. Renee says, I have a busy day tomorrow, so good night, everyone. Good night, Renee. Ray says, I love Scott. Star Mama says, Jeanette, now that's a thought. Maybe he is a hottie like the cop jumping in the window wells. He's a hottie, and he's younger than my youngest. Come on, you guys. Ray says, night, Renee. Mary says, hi, Terry. Bella says, Pearl Jam. Yes, Christy. Star Mama says, well, it's late. My eyes are crossing. Okay. We'll go ahead and do the name thing. Christy says, sorry, Paula, didn't mean to shout. Star Mama says, good night, Renee. Come back. Christy says, yay, Bella, another fan. Eddie needs to be on the list. He is on the list, you guys. He was on the list twice. Let's go ahead and figure out the name the next time. But if I don't think of it, will you guys tell me? Ray says, sleep well, Star Mama. Renee says, love Eddie Vedder Pearl Jam. Me too. We all do. Yes, I agree. Add him, MM. He's on the list, you guys. Yeah, okay. Good, MM. Sure is. Thank you, Star Mama. Miss CD says, I love Tom Selleck. I do too. You know, he has a house in my town, right? We should have a party at my house and we could all go jogging past his house. If you want. I should find out who the famous drummer is who lives nearby too. I keep getting screwed up on which band he is a drummer for. I keep getting screwed up like literally year after year. It's like, wait a minute. Is it that one or the other one? Miss CD says, good night, John boy. Renee says, before I go, I want to ask if anyone has heard of a guy named Isaac something or other. Huh? Night, Mary Ellen. We forgot to put Keith Urban on the list. Ooh, we did. We'll go ahead and add him. Miss CD says, yes. Christy says, you're a dog. Star Mama says, good night, Grandpa. MM Chat, we have a blast here all the time. Good night, Star Mama. Renee says he was murdered, but his death was made to look like a suicide. What? Who are you talking about? Renee says, thank you. Good night, everyone. Bella says, yes, Renee, his wife was involved. What? What? I'm scrolling up. Is that the... Wait. I don't know. I better not. Oh, that name. Okay. He wasn't married? I tell you what, the next time we do a live, throw that information in, because if I start looking, then I'll probably stay up too late, and it's already too late. We need to get our beauty sleep. So, okay, let's all say goodnight. Good night to our stalkers, too, our lurkers, the scumbag attackers who just sit here and watch without joining in the discussion. So let's all say goodnight. Everybody be safe, be happy and healthy. And seriously, I want you all to know that you are loved. Good night, everyone.